for Real Madrid to win, so maybe 2-1, very narrow.
2-0 or maybe 2-1.
For Real Madrid, obviously, 3-1, 3-1 to Real Madrid. I see Mbappe scoring a goal today, you know.
Hello everyone and welcome into the Sporty Show. Yes, I am back. Sara here, and my oh my, did the boys get it wrong last night with Real Madrid losing 3-1 to AC Milan. Well, boys, I've missed a lot, it seems. Rodri's won the Ballon d'Or. Spain's absolutely dominated, with Barcelona, Real Madrid being the best teams. Aitana going back to back. Lamine Yamal winning the Copa. Ten Hag is sacked. Amaron's in. Marcelo leaves Fluminense. Neymar's injured again. And Barcelona absolutely demolished Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. Did you guys miss me? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Klinton Cod. Oh, yes.
Oh, man. I don't even know why I'm laughing.
Oh, my God.
Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sara Ferrari. Sara, welcome back!
Thanks, guys.
No, on behalf of us, the Association of Your Fans, you know, we feel very happy to have you back on the Sporty Show. And as usual, I feel like I want to just go on the rap, you know, I want to just rap just the way you just rapped before. Because I thought she actually forgot we're here, you know. I thought she was literally going into the show. Anyways, we have the tallest man in Madrid as usual. It's Alex Ashmore. Alex, you see the way I've just hyped Sara? Hype me the same way.
Good to have you back, Sara.
I missed you, Alex.
Get out, man. Get out.
Clinton, I realised all this time it's just been us two. We were sat too close together when there's three of us.
All right, guys. Let's look into what we have coming up this week on the Sporty channel. Sorry. Oh, my gosh. I'm losing my mind here. Jet lag is crazy, everyone. Yep. All right. We have EFL coming up right after the show. It's Preston versus Sunderland. Also, right after the show, join our watch along on all of our socials, where the three of us will be watching the Champions League matches. We have Barca in action, Bayern, Inter, and Arsenal, PSG, and Atleti. It's going to be great. Tonight as well, Boca Juniors taking on Godoy Cruz. Tomorrow we have Instituto versus River and West Brom versus Burnley. Friday sees the A-League, Western and Newcastle, as well as Al Hilal versus Al Ettifaq and Al Riyadh versus Al Nasser, as well as in the EFL Championship, Watford taking on Oxford United. Saturday we have Makeda versus Tokyo FC, Adelaide versus Western United, Cardiff versus Blackburn, West Ham versus Everton in the Premier League. The Bundesliga has Leipzig versus Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Rosario taking on San Lorenzo. Sunday, we have Tokyo Verde versus Vissel Kobe, Sydney versus MacArthur, Circle B versus Anderlecht. In La Liga, we have Real Valladolid versus Athletic Bilbao, and Inter versus Napoli in the Serie A. What a Sunday that will be. Let's welcome the one, the only, Gary Al Smith to the show. Have you missed me? Oh, Gary! Thank you so much. Has it been trouble?
Hey,
Gary, please tell us, have you turned deaf and dumb now? Because, you know, I know there's nothing that's not possible in Africa. You know,
He just lost his voice.
People would think this is a joke, but they wouldn't know that this guy is gone. Like, he needs healing. Receive.
What's up, people?
Oh,
Sarah, when you were giving your countdown of things that you have missed while you were gone, you forgot one. North Korea are under 17 champions and under 20 champions of women's football as well.
You know what?
Oh, and you missed another one. Arsenal threw the title away.
Oh,
Sorry, Gary.
here we go again.
No, she didn't miss it because we were never holding the title to begin with.
A tough time for the Arsenal fans. Gary, how's it been? Have you been enjoying your time with these two, or have they just been, you know, getting carried away here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been good. I mean, yeah. It's just been the boys, you know, couple beers, couple of bands, you know, chicken and beer. Yeah. So it's been good. What's up? How are your holidays? How was your time off?
It was beautiful, especially since, I think for the sake of the city of Madrid, it was good that I wasn't here, Gary. Because what I would have done if I was. It wasn't safe. The streets wouldn't have been safe. But let's get right into it, guys, because you all actually backed, including Lucas, who's not here, but let's throw him right under this bus as well. Real Madrid to win yesterday against Milan. What is going on? Alex Ashmore, let's start with you. Alvaro Morata scoring on his foe, Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think, well, job done for AC Milan. They did fantastic. I said the stat earlier just before we went on air that 7 goals in 13 games for Alvaro Morata against Real Madrid, his best against any club in his career. So, no, good night for AC Milan. Rafael Leao getting in the right areas, testing the defence. I think he was, he will be disappointed with his performance because he could have been a lot better. And I think if he was more clinical, he could have got 3 or 4 goals. Good to see Tammy Abraham coming on for AC Milan as well. And, Paulo Fonseca will be really happy with that job, especially after coming under some pressure at the beginning of the season and perhaps people upon his appointment being a little bit disappointed. Perhaps a club like AC Milan should be aspiring for a bigger name in a manager, but he's turned things around, yet to do so in Serie A. They're sitting in 7th, but to beat the champions of Europe like they did in their own home doesn't get much better than that.
Unless you're Barcelona and you did it. Really quickly, Klinton, where is our, what did we call him, our Real Madrid correspondent, Markande? Jump into this chat. I know you've missed me. But Klinton, talk to me a little bit about this game because they were absolutely horrendous. We saw Vinny. Guys, what's going on with Vinny? Shall we talk about it?
I think Vinny is going through some mental health breakdown, if you ask me. Just something off going with that guy. And, I just feel sad, man, to just see the kind of things going on with him on the pitch. And but before I go into Vinny, I'll just speak about Real Madrid. And I don't want to go into this long rant because I've been warned to not speak a lot because sometimes you just get carried away. And now carried away.
You speak a lot. That doesn't sound like you, man.
Well, I mean, right, let me get into this. Real Madrid, what is going on, man? I mean, before the game started, I did say here, Gary, if you remember, I said that this is going to be one of those games again that's going to be a proper team facing Real Madrid, and they will flop. When Alex asked me what my scoreline was, remember I said to you guys, I don't think they are going to win it, but as a Real Madrid fan, I was going to obviously back them up because I just have to. These are the people who I kind of like, do command. Fam, these are my big boys, right? So there's no way you're going to speak against your big boys, just in case my voice or my words or my tongue is going to curse them, you see. So I needed to just be positive. And the fact is, as usual, when they face great teams, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that they are going to flop. Look at Real Madrid yesterday. They were absolutely poor again. And they faced a team that are ready to play football, and they got battered. Exactly what's happened with Barcelona, that's exactly what's happened with AC Milan again. And I'm not surprised. I don't understand why people are surprised. As a fan of Real Madrid, of course I was sad that they were losing the game. However, was I surprised? I was definitely not surprised because the Real Madrid that we have now is definitely not real. This is the fake Madrid, and something has to be done ASAP.
All right. Well, Markande, I miss you too. Thanks for jumping in. Let me know what you think happened to Madrid yesterday. Gary, Tchouaméni has also picked up an injury now, but it seems like the issue for Madrid here is there's a lack of confidence with this team. We've seen it even in games where they've won. We saw the Dortmund match, they were down and they came back, but there's moments when they play football where it seems so disconnected. And there are players like Mbappe or Vinicius that you look at them and you think, something doesn't look right.
Well, with Mbappe, Sports said this morning that he's not happy and he's tired of playing the role he's playing in, and he wants that slot with Vinny. I don't know how that's going to happen or what. It's just a make-believe story by your typical outlet that wants clicks or whatever. But yeah, it's symptomatic of exactly what's wrong with Real Madrid right now. They're disjointed. Don Carlos spoke about the fact that the Barcelona meltdown was a defensive problem, only for them to face a defensive problem again yesterday. And this is after yesterday, we said by this time that, they've had 1 week or 10 days or whatever to plug all of their loopholes. We looked at the starting 11. It didn't seem like that starting 11 had changed to reflect had changed to reflect a change of mind about how to approach the defensive issues. So something is definitely not right, and I for one, I'm not sure exactly what it is. It can't only be the Kylian Mbappe thing, that because he's around, they don't know how to, they have reverted or they are forcing their way. Yes, that's what I want to say. They are forcing their way to play differently from last season. Take out Kylian Mbappe, and they still are not going to be very, very good. Something fundamentally is wrong, and they've got to sort it out because, otherwise it's going to affect them in the league, in the Champions League, and Carlo Ancelotti is going to probably, a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about, we toyed with the idea of whether he should be leaving before the end of the season. We said, nah, it's too early. But if the results continue this way, you never know.
Alex, if Mbappe wants to take Vinny's position, does he have the right to after the way Vinny's been playing this season and the way Mbappe has been playing this season? Because neither of them are kind of living up to the standards that we know. So does it come down to a point where Ancelotti says, all right, superstar, you got to take this guy's place?
I mean, I think you've got to look at the performances that Vinny had last season on the left-hand side. He was unbelievable. Obviously,
but it's not the same as last season.
No, I'm saying he had those performances last season. He deserves to keep that spot this season. Yes, he's not been as good as last season, but he's still been good. He's still been scoring goals. He's still been getting in the right positions, causing problems for defences. But I think it's difficult when you have so much star talent in the same position, not only the wing position, but in the midfield. They've got so many options. Sometimes it's hard to make everyone happy and make sure that you're picking people in the right position. So, whether you're sacrificing someone's natural spot in the team for someone who's just come in, or whether you're having to make them play out of position, it's a tough headache for Ancelotti. And, I'm sure he would have had his chats with the players to work out, are you happy playing as a striker or a left winger? Where would you prefer to play? But at the end of the day, he's the one that's going to make the decision, and I'm glad I'm not the one that has to do it.
Was it not you and I that said at the beginning of this season, bringing all these superstars together is not going to work? Yeah, and now it looks like it. Markinde says here that Mbappe should be on the bench. Rodrigo is a better fit on the right wing.
Absolutely.
Can Mbappe accept that?
I agree.
Remember, Real Madrid finished Hazard's pro career. It's a curious, kind of situation here, because can you imagine putting Mbappe on the bench? But at the same time, sorry, you were talking about Vinny, and it's seeming like, he's not in the right headspace either.
I mean, listen, there's a lot to say, man. I'm just trying to not... I'm just trying not to say too much, but the truth is, I mean, it's been established. I've said it so many times. We've agreed. Okay, maybe not. We've agreed. We've said it that, listen, Mbappe is not the player that would play as a striker. Yeah? That game yesterday, Mbappe was meant to be the number 9. The Mbappe we know, all the performances we've seen Mbappe doing all these exploits, being the star that's always shining on the pitch. Mbappe has never been doing that on that number 9. He has been doing it on that Vinicius wing for PSG, for France. That's why yesterday I was watching Henry analyzing something. I was speaking to you guys just before we came on the show. Henry, sorry, but I mean it's Henry. I mean, how would you call it? How would you say it?
Thierry Henry?
No, like you're an Englishman.
Thierry Henry.
Get out, man. But now the thing is,
Gary, how would you say it?
No, come on.
Okay, Gary, how would you say it? How would you say it?
Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry.
Yeah,
no,
because that's not even the real French way of saying it.
Wait. The French way is Henry, I know. But if you want to say it as an Englishman, how would you say it? That's my question.
Thierry Henry.
But his real name is his name is Henry, right? It's Henry, right?
No, but the
French one is Henry.
But I don't say Mr. Egbuna, do I?
Wait, yes, you do.
No, I do it as a joke.
No, listen, you don't get it. No, but you guys don't get it. I'm just saying that the English pronunciation is Henry. That's the argument here.
No, the English pronunciation of a name, Henry, is Henry, but the English pronunciation of Henri is Thierry Henry.
All right, Alex, get out, man. Guys, go sit there and wait for us to finish this show. You're pissing me off, man. Now, but the thing is, okay, right, I was watching this analysis from Thierry Henry, right?
Thierry Henry.
All right, let me start
One
again.
name at a time.
Right, so I was watching this analysis from Thierry Henry.
Thierry.
Alex,
right.
Alex, if you
Arsenal
talk
legend,
again.
you're watching.
Okay, all right, we got it.
All right, now
got
he said something. He said you've put Mbappe to play on the 9, and he was making this whole really lovely analogy on this really massive screen, right? And he said, why will a number 9? What is he doing from the every single time there was some kind of opportunity for somebody to make a run, the person that was making the run was Jude Bellingham. And you would have thought that maybe they've had a conversation to say, Jude Bellingham, how about we swap position? Because he felt like they swap position. Mbappe was then playing from the back.
Yeah.
Now, when there was an opportunity to find somebody who was making the run, Mbappe was nowhere to be found. They found Mbappe literally at the midfield. Do you see? It's to tell you that Mbappe's mode of play is not to just stay there making runs. Mbappe is the one who is getting the ball, making the runs, either scoring or finding the player, just the same way we see Vinicius. So it's going to continue being a problem for Real Madrid at this point. If they don't fix this Vinicius versus Mbappe, one of them can, I think both of them can play together if it's in a serious match. Because we've seen it. Anytime they've played serious matches, they played Atletico Madrid, they had a draw. They played Barcelona, they got, and mind you, Atletico Madrid was only because they were rubbish. If not, they should be winning Real Madrid properly. God, why am I angry? Right, okay, wait, let me take it easy. Because I don't know why I'm getting upset. But the truth is, they have to, listen, Mbappe is not a bad player, whether we like it or not. Yesterday, he could have scored. He could have scored. I mean, he had shots. He was the only person that felt threatening yesterday. You know, he did some kind of, manipulation somewhere. He got that 1 or 2 shots that if he was lucky enough, he could have gone in, but he didn't. But all I'm saying is, don't put Mbappe on that. This is not Mbappe. Mbappe is the guy that wants to. He wants to do what Vinicius does, but he doesn't have the opportunity because Vinicius is there. It would not work for Real Madrid like that. They will continue getting. Oh God, have mercy. They will.
All right. Before we jump off at Real Madrid, Gary, do you think Carlo Ancelotti will be staying at Real Madrid? Because you brought that up at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, for now, but if by December they are still going on this trajectory,
So rude.
after the winter break, I think that Don Perez would have to, because then they need new ideas. They absolutely need new ideas. They don't need new players, right? They need new ideas and somebody who will be able to call the shots, and get this band of talented players to play together well and win games. It's as simple as that. If it's probably not Don Carlo, then somebody else has to come in, unfortunately.
Alex, do you drop Vinny or Mbappe if you're trying to figure out this situation, if you want to keep Don Carlo there?
I think my starting 11, you have to find a way of working those 3 players out together up front, because having one on the bench is,
but clearly the 2 of them are not working.
No,
not working.
So you have to bench one. That's the question.
If you had to bench one, I would, at the moment, bench Mbappe.
All right, Markandé agrees with you, apparently. Are you in agreement?
It's a very hard one because I just don't know how Mbappe will be on the bench. That's the next
nuts.
thing. It's just very difficult. But then again, do I see Vinicius on the bench? It's still not fair, because this is somebody who has carried this club from that wing.
You can't bench
how
either
do you pay him back by
Maybe
putting him on the
you shouldn't
bench?
be spending all your money on all this
For me, I feel like Mbappe coming to Real Madrid was a wrong. I don't understand.
I feel like we saw this from a mile away. We were thinking, you already have the best left winger in the world, and now look at what you've done. Like, this to me isn't, and I don't think it's Don Carlo's fault, because we know how good of a coach he is, and we know that both players are good, but you have 2 of the best players, and you want to play them both, so one of them has to play out. Like, how did you? Florentino Perez.
I remember when we were making this argument before even Mbappe got to Madrid, we were then saying, we trust Don Carlo because, he's
How can you
the coach. Yeah, I mean, we said, nah, he would know how to figure it out. I think that's where we went wrong, because clearly he cannot figure this one out.
Yeah,
because
it's tough.
Fact is, it's tough. It's actually tough. Like, let's say this was Pep Guardiola. What do you think Pep Guardiola would have done?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
I think it's just unfortunate, because I feel like both players are being wasted at the moment.
No,
Because
actually
both
they
of them
are, for
are
real.
not playing to what we know they can play to, and it's obviously getting to them. So let's see what will happen this weekend. Real Madrid back in action, and after 2 really poor losses, they're going to need some sort of convincing win, not for the fans, but for themselves. Another team that is on the down and down is Manchester City, getting smoked by Sporting yesterday. They're out of the Carabao Cup, lost to Spurs. They lost over the weekend as well to, who did they lose to?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Yep.
Bournemouth beat Arsenal and City. Incredible stuff. Love you, Cherries.
And nearly beats Chelsea.
Nothing, and you see what Nottingham Forest is doing as well?
Oh, they heard. They heard. But Manchester City, guys, 3 losses in a row. Gary, I'll start with you first because I know you're happy to see it as an Arsenal fan. But is this same issue going on that what we thought maybe before with the rotation of players? Because we saw some of the players that were playing for City yesterday, and this was the same thing that happened in their first Champions League match against Inter, because they had the big game against Arsenal over the weekend. But this rotated lineup because teams are playing every 3 days.
I think, first of all, we all agree that an important cog in the Manchester City wheel not being available is a big problem, and that's Rodri. I mean, the balance is not the same. And we've known this for about the last 2 or 3 seasons, that when Rodri was unavailable, thankfully for Manchester City in previous seasons, his absence was just for a certain couple of games, but this is for the whole season. And so they are really going to feel it. The balance is really being affected. This coupled with another player, that's Kevin De Bruyne, has exacerbated the issues. And we have seen that the problems have been laid bare. Yesterday, there was something that I saw that, I thought was so profound that I even tweeted it out, a quote from Bernardo Silva, where he said that it seems like this is a dark, those were his choice of words. He said this is a dark period, and I thought that was so apt. He said, like, everything that can go wrong is going wrong, and that no matter how well they play, they're in a period where they can't even score goals when they play well. Which seems to me like, in the life of every great team, there's bound to be a wave and a trough. There's going to be an up and a down. They are writing this down. What we have known with Manchester City that we've become used in the past 4 seasons or so is that a slump by this time, by this period, or in this period of the season, is not strange. And that after December, they are going to come steamrolling out, smother everybody. But this is slightly different because of the way they are losing. In previous seasons, when they were having slumps like this, it was going to be a draw there, but then they were cranking out draws and not losing spectacularly like this. Every loss in the last few weeks or in this season has been very, very pointed. And it's been like whoever the opposition is taking them to school. Yesterday's beating was a proper beating, to the extent that every question Pep was asked, it was like he was eating humble pie yesterday. To the extent that somebody asked him, "Hey Pep, do you want to be in charge of the Brazilian national team?" And he sarcastically said, "Well, after me being beaten 4-1 by Sporting Lisbon, I don't think the Brazilians ever want me again, even if they want me." So I think that is just a period of down that they have to ride out. But like Arsenal, by the time this slump is over, their title challenge may well and truly be over as well. And that will make me very happy, yes.
Does City losing these 3 matches, guys, does it make you think that they're incapable of winning the Premier League or the Champions League? Or is, like Gary's saying, a slump, in this time of the year, it might happen, and then New Year's comes and City's back to being City?
It's the 6th of November. The season finishes in May. It's a long way to go. Yes, Rodri being out is a massive miss. Kevin De Bruyne is slowly working his way back to fitness. I don't think we have a return date yet, but looking at the options last night, and I think Guardiola said it well, come the end of the season, if they play in the Club World Cup, they would have played 70 games. It goes back to that question again. They're having to rotate. These players are getting injured. The players are playing too much football. And even the likes of City, who have the squad depth, are getting affected by it. I saw Jemai Simpson-Pusey last night, the youngster coming in, really disappointed with a performance like his. But as a youngster, you obviously want to be given those opportunities, but it's a shame for him because it's the biggest night of his career. He's playing in the Champions League against Sporting Club de Portugal, a game where if he makes a good performance and shows off that he can play at this level, then he could be a shoo-in for a first-team start regularly. But I think when you look at the injuries that have plagued Man City this season, especially De Bruyne and Rodri, it's difficult. You know, any team's going to be affected by it. But I think in a month's time, we'll be having a completely different conversation. It'll be who's going to win the title, Liverpool or Man City.
Oh, here we go. Clinton, what do you think?
Sorry, what's the question?
Where did you go?
Did
All right,
Did you
you
fall
know
asleep?
what? Let's move right along.
No. I cannot move away from Manchester City, though.
Okay, then speak on it.
The truth is, Manchester City, you guys have literally said it all, but I just want to just tap on it again with the absence of Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri. The fact is, I mentioned it yesterday, I said, these are the two engine rooms of Manchester City, and the truth is, they are a team that can be beaten by Luton FC without those two engines. I'm telling you for free that if they face, say, even Preston right now, they can beat Manchester City. Is almost like somebody just took out a cover and you just see all the content. You know, that you can just see that, yeah, I can beat the hell out of you. Just having those two. It's like what we say about Arsenal. Odegaard not being there. Look at Arsenal. Yeah, we were saying, yeah, they have one of the best defense in England. But even with their defense, how much are they winning? Are they winning them? Of course they are. Right? So it's to tell you that most times in football, the midfield is a very integral, very important part. Like, they are literally holding the team
Look
together.
at Holland.
I mean, look at exactly. I mean, yesterday I felt for him, especially after missing the penalty. You could see how frustrated. I've
Well,
never seen
stay
Haaland that
humble.
sad. Sorry?
Well, stay humble. You felt sorry
Oh,
to stay humble.
And that's what I
You
saw.
felt sorry to
That's
stay
exactly what I saw on
humble.
social media. People kept on saying, because you know what he was saying to Arteta, remember, when they faced Arsenal and Haaland went to say, stay humble. So people were like, yeah, now you have to stay humble. And they battered them proper.
I think I've said this the entire time. Yes, he can score goals, but in terms of actual technical striker,
No, it's
he's
definitely not
not my
Haaland.
kind of player.
No,
That's
it's
all I'm
definitely
going to say.
not
I'm
Haaland.
not going to say he's bad. He's not my kind of player, and yesterday just proved it. Like, I think you need someone that can, come with the ball, carry the ball, take a strike.
Can I give you a shocker? Right?
Here we go.
Here
Here we go, guys.
No, let me tell you.
Social clip. Get it right.
Let me tell you. Right?
You get it.
Listen. Listen. Nicholas Jackson.
No!
Wait, listen to me. Listen to this. Listen to me. I'm telling you, Makinde, thank you. I mean, this is I feel like today, Makinde is agreeing with a lot of things. But listen, Nicholas Jackson is a better footballer than Haaland. However, Haaland is a better goal scorer than Nicholas Jackson. I don't know if you know the difference between what I've just mentioned now. Right? So when it comes to actually playing football, when it comes to playing the real football, right? I would give you Haaland anytime. But you see, what's his name? Haaland, his specialty is posts and me.
Yeah.
The ball, the goal, and me.
He knows where to be.
He knows where to be.
Yeah.
He knows how to hold it, and he uses his size properly. That's the thing. But when it comes to actually playing football,
like the tactics, the technique, the touch. Yeah.
Yes. You give it to Nicholas Jackson. Do you understand? So. No.
I don't hate what you said there. I don't hate.
But I'm being sincere with you. So listen, when I was looking at Nicholas Jackson, when I was looking at Haaland yesterday, you could see the frustration. But then you blame him. It's only because the people who are making him look good
are not there.
They are not there.
Nope. Markinde just said Tevez and Suarez. I'd like to know what exactly you mean by that. Also, really quickly, guys, Guillaume wrote in the group earlier here, but Aston Villa are losing right now, and there's about 5 minutes left to Club Brugge. If they lose, that means Liverpool are the only undefeated, or rather the team that has won every single game left in the Champions League. Liverpool, top of the table. This is how it stands in the Champions League right now. Liverpool are top of the table. And then we have Sporting Lisbon, Monaco, Dortmund, Villa, City, Brest, and Inter. They're all through automatically.
And
Then Arsenal, Gary. All right, well then Barcelona, if you want to go for it like that, Gary. No, but there's a bunch of teams that are obviously playing today. But right now in the relegation zone stand Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid. Obviously, they're both in action in about half an hour's time, but that's how it's looking right now. There are a few teams in that. I mean, I don't think any of us would have said 4 matches in, Sporting Lisbon would have been number 2. I mean, thank God I picked Liverpool to win the Champions League because so far that's looking really good. But 5 minutes left, and Villa might lose to Bruges. This is Champions League football, gentlemen. Anything could happen.
Everything would always happen.
Everything will always happen. All right,
I mean, I would never. Yes, I understand that we expected Manchester City, to not perform to the Manchester City level. However, I still feel like in this Champions League, anything can happen. Even it's not even Champions League. In
It's
football,
crazy.
literally this season.
Yeah, because there's so much. There's so many rotated sides. You never know what you're going to get. Yeah. But like we mentioned before, you're only playing every team once. So it's very, very interesting. Today, PSG taking on Atletico Madrid. Let's start with this game because this is probably the game of the 2 most disappointing teams in the Champions League. Obviously, Atletico Madrid have a lot of work to do after losing 4-0 to Benfica, then losing 3-1 at home to Lille. By the way, Jonathan David going 3 for 3, scoring against Juve last night.
That was,
Canadian guy said hello.
When it happened, what did I say?
Something.
You said Sara will be happy with that one.
It's so funny. I just think it's incredible for a Canadian because for him, you know the joy he must be experiencing. You score against Real Madrid, you score against Atleti twice, and then you score against Juve. That's massive for a Canadian player.
No,
like that is huge.
Definitely.
But PSG, Atleti, Alex, Atleti have a lot to prove in this one, and they are away from home. What are you thinking about this game? Is it all PSG, or do Atleti have a chance?
I mean, if it was anyone but PSG, I would say yes. But, you know, looking at Atleti's away form in the Champions League, it's pretty shocking compared to their home form. You look at PSG's start to the Champions League, it's been pretty awful. I think this is the case of whoever wins this, you know, whoever loses this, will probably be looking at going out, you know, if they don't improve their results. PSG still, I think, you know, perhaps coming away from, you know, last season without Mbappe this season, they perhaps thought it would be a fresh start, but it's not been the case in the Champions League. They've been outplayed by Arsenal at the Emirates. They've just got a result against Girona on the opening day. So, yeah, I think for PSG, they've got a lot of work to do. But then Diego Simeone as well. Atleti have been far from impressive, both in the league and the Champions League. And, you know, I spoke to Alexander Soloth at the weekend after Las Palmas, and he said, you know, obviously it is just taking it game by game, but they're an experienced squad, so they can turn around and, you know, they can use these things to learn from their mistakes, and they can get better. And I think, you know, I'm favouring an Atleti win tonight.
Klinton?
Atleti. I don't think right now anything that's got to do with Madrid, right, is very dicey. You know, if you're asking me who is going to win tonight, I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't see Atleti playing the way I don't see the teams in Madrid playing the way they played before. It's like there's some kind of virus going around the city.
Is it you?
I don't know. Who knows? Or it might be you. I don't know.
It could be.
It could be, or could it be the British man? I mean, the British man
No,
has been
'cause
here
he's
for
been
some.
here.
He's been here exactly. So
Can't
we
be him.
don't
It's
know
one of us.
who it is. But what was that? Hey, sorry. I mean, that was just too much. He had to take my attention. I'm sorry, guys. It was a defender was sent to England with one dribble somewhere on TV. It took me out. But I think PSG, they are also poor currently. Atleti, they are not very strong, but I'll probably give it to Atleti tonight as well.
I could also say a draw. I think both sides
all day.
will be, you know, so focused on not wanting to lose, and you know, Simeone, the pressure is on him. I don't think he'll get sacked, but if he loses tonight, the doubts start to grow, and people start to say, you know, are you the right man for the job? Should we look at taking, you know, a fresh direction, someone with new ideas? So yeah, I think we can see a very strong defensive performance from Atletico Madrid tonight. So 0-0 could also be on the cards.
This screams.
No, absolutely.
Gary, what do you think for this one? Sorry.
Minimum should be a loss for PSG. I see their young guns doing. I mean, as poor as they are, I think they are a better cohesive unit than Atleti. So worst case scenario, a draw. Best case scenario, win for PSG.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Atleti are starting Julian Alvarez and Griezmann up front. They need goals. And, you know, it's not a bad lineup I'm seeing from them, but I don't know if they'll be able to beat PSG. I think this one has draw written all over it. But shall we talk about the marquee matchup with the Arsenal man here himself? Inter versus Arsenal at the San Siro after losing to Newcastle on the weekend. Both teams unbeaten in the Champions League, but both teams not super impressive either. Gary, I have to go to you. Coming off that loss, what is going to change?
The mentality has to change, and I think that the players have spoken eloquently about this. That, you know, for their own sakes, for the fans, for Mikel Arteta, they've got to start putting in the wins, and it starts today. You know, it's Inter. They are who they are. They are doing well in Serie A. Look at the Serie A table, how competitive it is. But Arsenal, if they want to show any mettle this season, they want to show that, you know, this season is not a dud, they've got to win. It's as simple as that. I mean, there's no other motivation that I can give. Any other motivational speech I can give. Arsenal have got to win. And I think about a month ago, we were looking at the fixtures and I said, this is the ideal sort of fixture list Arsenal would want if they really want to show that they are ready for this season. And it's proven to be true that Arsenal are not really ready for this season. You know, after a couple of pretty good wins, we've been found out after a few injuries, and so we have to admit that we are not up to that level yet. And tonight just might be just another one, but we have to win. That's it. We just have to win. Yeah.
I see this as a must-win for Arsenal, but Alex, like you mentioned at the top of the show, they've already thrown away the season. Do you see them winning this match? Could they put their focus in the Champions League maybe instead of the Premier League? Because sometimes we do see teams having to make a decision on one of the tournaments.
Yeah, I think you'll look at Arteta and he'll want to go for both. You know,
Yeah,
he's not going to be, you know, at this point, Arteta and the squad will still believe, and you know there is a chance that they can come back and win the Premier League. But when you look at the way that they've started in the Champions League, it's been solid. You know, they've been playing against some strong teams. You know, Atalanta was a tough game, and PSG, they got the win against PSG. So, no, I think for Arsenal, you know, tonight looking at the starting lineup, Bukayo Saka, I think will be ready to come back in there and, you know, and cause a threat for that into left side. And I think that the big thing for Arsenal for me is goals. You know, Leandro Trossard and Kai Havertz, I look at that strike partnership and I think I can't really see a threat that's going to really cause problems for an Inter defence. I think Inter, with the prowess that they have at the back, I think they'll be able to deal with that quite easily. And I've been quite disappointed with Trossard, especially when he's been starting. We talked about this.
And he's starting tonight.
It feels ridiculous to say it, that a player who plays so well coming off the bench can't recreate that form when he starts. But it has been the case. Trossard has been far short of what we expected when he comes off the bench. We think this is going to be exciting. There's going to be a goal. And yeah, he's been disappointing. And then the options on the bench, Gabriel Jesus, again, very uninspiring. So I think for Arsenal, if they do want to be a real contender in Europe or the Premier League, they have to sort out the problem of goals. And you know, it's good to see obviously Gabriel and William Saliba back together, but there's some problems to fix for Arsenal.
Odegaard, big miss. Is that what's going on here?
I don't see Arsenal winning this game. I'm
Okay.
sorry to say, Gary. Like, I know you're smiling now, but tomorrow we'll come back. You know, usually you will come to the show with a toy, you know, to maybe find some kind of smile somewhere. But I'm telling you, you know, hear it from now. I mean, don't get excited like in advance. Just start getting sad from now, okay? Or if it helps you, just be happy because the upset will soon come later on, okay? But I don't see Arsenal winning this game. Fact is, Odegaard is literally your man. I don't see you guys doing anything special with that guy. He's your playmaker. He's the one controlling that midfield for Arsenal. Yes, your wingers are good, but you just said it, that Trossard, him starting, it's almost like what we're saying. When I was saying I'm hoping to see John Duran starting, but I think you said, I don't know who said here, that what he.
I thought you didn't want him to start because you wanted him to have that position where he comes in and scores the goals.
No, I was saying that he deserves to start at this point.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, John Duran, with how much he's been, the kind of exploits he's been doing, you know, the kind of goals he's been coming and he's scoring really important goals. And I don't know if it was Gary, I think somebody mentioned on the show to say he might be the player who, when he starts, you know, he might end up messing things up and it will not be the John Duran that people are beginning to price for 100 million or even more. You understand? So for me, Arsenal, not having that midfield, Trossard starting, you know, having that cost of people coming from the bench and then converting them to starting, I don't see Arsenal having this one. Inter would, and obviously they are on some kind of disadvantage. They are playing away. So, yeah, it's going to be a very hard one. It might not be a very high goal scoring game. It might probably be one of those where it's probably going to be like a 1 because Arsenal, they're very good at losing with like say 1-0 and then maybe that one is probably a penalty. Maybe Saliba will do some kind of, or even Gabriel, do some funny stuff and they get a penalty and that ends the game. You know, but for me, knowing I've lived in England, I will obviously support Arsenal, but if I want to be realistic, just the same way I said yesterday when they asked me, Real Madrid, I said, do you want me to say as a fan or do you want me to say what I'm hearing? You guys didn't want me to, because I would have told you that.
I wasn't here.
Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, them guys. Them guys. But yeah, I don't see it happening for them today.
Well, the viewers agree with you because 53.7% of you said Inter will win tonight. 27.7% says Arsenal will win and 25.6% have gone for a draw. Gary, I'm sorry, but they are not with you tonight, and I can't blame them with what we've seen. It's time for the Arsenal to prove us wrong, then. Can we get a score prediction, and then I'll jump to the YouTube comments. Right. Let's start with you, Mr. Gunners, Gary.
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah,
all right, Ashmore?
I'm going to go 1-1.
Ooh.
I'm going 2-0.
For Inter?
Yeah.
Oh, not even on the board. I'll go 2-1 Inter, last minute goal, Italian style. 86th minute, Lautaro Martinez. Actually, Mehdi Taremi is scoring. I mean, he's the Champions League guy from Porto last season. So, I mean, maybe he'll get on the board early. But I can see this one going to the last minute.
I'm just happy we're watching this game together. Oh.
And, of course, Barcelona taking on Red Star. I mean, you guys can watch.
Sara actually came back on the right day, you know.
I will be watching that. I will absolutely be watching that. Okay, let's see some comments here. Owen wrote, I want Atletico Madrid to lose because then they'll sack the coach and Eric Ten Hag can come in. I don't want him in this city. There's something going on. He has some bad juju. And I don't want him. No, I cannot see that happening. You guys think Ten Hag could come to replace Diego Simeone?
No.
I think no.
You know what the crazy thing? He might actually come and do exploits with that team. You never know.
No.
Sometimes it works like that.
Yes. Do it for me. All right. Also, guys, Aston Villa has lost 1-0 to Club Brugge. So Liverpool is the only team that has won every single game. And Shakhtar Donetsk beat Young Boys 2-1 as well. Let's see what else we can have, what comments we have here. Gary, Markinde, right to you, says, I want Arsenal to win because I like to see Gary when they win. He has a better look when Arsenal are winning. Smiling for sure. Inter 2-1. Gabrielle says, oh, someone wrote Inter 3-0. Mallorca. And wow, they're very, very confident. Markinde also said to you, Alex, anything you say you should be paid for. Trust me, you say the fact and I like hearing from you. Well, Markinde, he said Real Madrid would win yesterday. Do what you want with that. All right, let's look into some other games we have coming up this evening because there are several. Bayern Munich playing Benfica. Sorry, I think this game is going to be very, very interesting because
wow,
I think
accents.
Very, very interesting. I don't know, it just came over me. No, but don't you think this one could actually, I think it's not as shiny as maybe Atletico and PSG and Arsenal and Inter, but Benfica have been doing great things in both the league and the Champions League. I mean, we saw they slaughtered Atleti. And we know Bayern Munich they have their defensive issues, as Barcelona obviously previewed. Do you think this one could go in Benfica's way, Alex?
It very much could. And I think, looking at the start to Bayern Munich season in the Champions League, 3 points from 3 games is far from what they would have expected and far from what we know they're capable of. Vincent Kompany has had some criticism. Obviously, they lost to Aston Villa, they lost to Barcelona, and they didn't just lose. They never really looked like getting back into that game against Barcelona and against Aston Villa as well. They were, they were attacking, but they could just never find an opening. And I look at this Bayern Munich team, and I think they have the quality. Alphonso Davies, Joshua Kimmich, Michael Olise, Jamal Musiala, Serge Gnabry, Harry Kane. The list goes on, really. It's such a quality side. But it is something, whether it's Vincent Kompany, that he's still trying to work out his best tactics at this stage of the season. You feel like he shouldn't be. But, I think the proof will be in the pudding as to whether Vincent Kompany can cut it at a top club. Can he pull Bayern Munich out of this hole that they're in? 3 points from 3 games from a club like that. There's a threat that they don't go through. And for him and the club, that would be a catastrophic failure.
Klinton?
Yeah, it's obviously, I've always said it, that is a Champions League and anything can happen. This season especially is a very weird one and anybody is easily beaten. I understand that Bayern Munich, they've got all these star-studded players. They have Michael Olise, who is somebody I really admire, and Harry Kane being one of the best strikers in the world. Also, you have these young stars in Bayern. I mean, I could say anything can happen, but I still see Bayern taking this one, especially with the upsets that they had with Barcelona,
What do you mean upset?
I mean, Barcelona did beat them, right?
No, I think no one expected Barcelona to wipe the floor with Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich,
Speak for yourself.
They are competitive, and I think when you look at the quality of players that they have, I said it, they should be competing with the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid.
No, absolutely.
They did last season. So I think the manner of the result and the performance was the shock, not necessarily the fact that they lost. I think Barcelona are capable of beating the best.
No,
But
absolutely.
the manner in which Bayern Munich lost was the surprise, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. So I feel like this time they will be coming into this game with the mindset of, we cannot let such thing happen again. And that's the only strength I'm seeing them coming in with to win Benfica today. And, anything can happen, but I'm still going on the Bayern side for this one.
Gary, they are playing at the Allianz, which is a great benefit for Bayern. But Benfica losing their last Champions League match to Feyenoord also have a point to prove here because, like we know, every single match matters on where you are in this table.
Yeah, and I mean, the loss to Barcelona aside, the battering to Barcelona aside, or after that, Bayern have been quite prolific. They've been free scoring. And that confidence is going to continue, I think, in today's game. Benfica will huff and puff, but I think that Bayern will have too much for them. Harry Kane seems to have, let some burden off his shoulders, and he's playing with more smiles. Have you watched his games? I've watched a couple of his last games. He's playing with a certain freedom. That's very, very nice to watch, I must say. And his goal tally has gone to 17 on his own, 25 goals involvement in just 14 appearances this season. And I think that there'll be too much for Benfica tonight. So Bayern Munich win, maybe 3-1. Yeah, Bayern Munich win, definitely.
Bayern Munich wins across the board. Before we end the show, let's quickly talk about your boy, Klinton. Adamella Lookman in action tonight against Stuttgart. We asked you guys on our Twitter, how many goals do you think Lookman will score tonight? 43%, the majority said 1. You think your boy's going to get on the scoreboard tonight?
Definitely, I think it's definitely. I mean, he probably will score a hat-trick today.
Oh, no pressure here.
No, listen, Ademola Lookman is probably the best African player as we speak. It's not probably, he is the best African player.
Wasn't he not included in that list?
He was, actually.
Yeah.
No,
He was. Who? Oh, Victor Boniface was.
It was Victor
Osimhen,
Boniface.
Boniface, Salah.
Who made this list?
Yeah, I don't know.
Of course, Adamella, he's going to win because there's no one else.
Yeah, of course.
Not
absolutely.
that he shouldn't, but you know what I mean?
No,
It's
yes. Yes. I mean, it's pretty much very obvious because the competitions are no
Sebastian
longer
Haller
there.
wasn't in it either, and he won the. Okay. Anyways, a different show.
I was going to ask Gary. Gary, is Kudus on that list as well?
Yes.
Yeah, Kudus was on the list. Yeah.
Wait.
What?
So Kudus. Wait.
African player of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kudus is there. I don't know how Boniface didn't make it.
Because this is actually very weird. You know what?
No, it doesn't make it. None of it makes sense.
Wait, are you sure it was in some kind of No, it had to. Yeah, obviously this is Africa, so anything is possible. So
Oh la la.
I'm not very surprised. I think they've rigged some kind of. I think it's the Nigerian electoral body that's done that list, and maybe Boniface has offended a guy called Mahmoud. Later, go and Google that name, Mahmoud. If you find out who he is, Ale, you will not let him get into the UK. You will be proper visa ban for life. I'm telling you the truth. Like, that's the one person I
No,
tweeted.
so no, I'm looking at the list again, guys. There's no Kudus.
There's no good to say that.
So, yeah. So it's Amin Guriri, Edmond Tapsoba, Adingra, Chancel Mbemba, Segu Gurasi, Ashraf
Kudus.
Hakimi, Sufyan Rahimi,
Kudus from last
Ademola
season that was a
Lookman,
beast.
Yeah.
Truce
Shocking.
Ekong, Ronwen Williams. Yep.
Wait, hold on. Did you just mention Truce Ekong? Is there as well? I think.
Yeah.
Wait,
This
but
is from
Kudus.
28th October.
Wait, but Kudus played in the African Cup of Nations, right?
He did, but he is not here, sir.
Oh man, this is
Let's go on, my friends.
I mean, but yeah, we're talking about Lookman, and yeah, Lookman, I see him. You see, Lookman is the one African player who I believe, on normal grounds, he would always bring out his best. You know, he's not one of those players that you will say, no, this, even Lookman's bad game is better than some people's good game. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yes, I see where you're coming from. I think you saw what he did against Napoli at the weekend.
Yeah.
Napoli, the informed team in Serie A this season, but coming up against Stuttgart's side that in Europe they've beaten Juventus.
Did Makinde just ask who is Kudus?
I can't. He was being sarcastic.
Okay,
I feel
yeah.
like it was like, please, who's Kudus?
Okay.
All right, we're getting sassy. We get it.
Shoot. No, I think when you look at both of these sides, I think they're both capable of pulling off the win, but I'm going to lean for Atalanta on this one.
Yeah, I think so. Also unbeaten in Champions League. They had that draw against Arsenal first match day, but they're coming off a massive loss to Napoli, 3-0 over the weekend in the Serie A. I know Stuttgart is at home, but I just don't think Stuttgart has the manpower behind them. Atalanta, they're an experienced team in tournament-style football. We saw what they did last year. I'm with Alex on this one. This one is Atalanta all day, and let's go for Lookman to score. Come on. Yep.
Yeah.
Gary, you too? They drew your Gunners.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see how happy Gary will be tomorrow. Come in and let's see how happy I'll be. We're both in action tonight, obviously. I think I'm feeling a bit more lighthearted than Gary, though, in this one. But yeah, that's it for us today, guys. A very, very busy show. We have a lot going on. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, EFL Championship coming up after... Nope, that's wrong. Championship coming up after this show. We have Preston taking on Sunderland, but on all of our socials, we have the three of us doing a watch along, all of the Champions League game reaction. We will be watching all of them with all of our eyes and reacting to them for the next couple hours. So join us on one of the two for sure. It's a pleasure to be back, guys. And as always, we'll be back again tomorrow. Enjoy the football.
Eh, boy.
Oh my